This video is about famous Hollywood celebrities and people who passed away in November 2011 in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Judy Lewis, she was born in November 1935 and she died in November 2011. Her age was 76 at the time of her death and the reason for her death was cancer. Judy Lewis was an American actress and author, famously known as the biological daughter of Hollywood legends Loretta Young and Clark Gable, a fact kept secret for decades. She appeared in soap operas and later wrote her memoir about her unique family history. Lewis bravely shared story, shedding light on a hidden chapter of Hollywood. Andrea Tru, she was born in July 1943 and she died in November 2011. Her age was 68 at the time of her death and the reason for her death was heart failure. Andrea Tru was an American singer and adult film actress, best known for her iconic 1976 disco hit More, More, More. She was a prominent figure in the disco era, with her music defining the sound of the late 1970s. Tru's career spanned both music and adult entertainment, making her a unique figure in popular culture. Sid Melton, he was born in May 1917 and he died in November 2011. His age was 94 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was pneumonia. Sid Melton was an American actor with a long career in film and television. Known for his comedic supporting roles, he appeared in about 140 films and television projects in a career that spanned nearly 60 years. He had a memorable role as Alf Monroe on Green Acres. Melton brought a cheerful energy and distinctive voice to his characters. Leonard Stone, he was born in November 1923 and he died in November 2011. His age was 87 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was cancer. Leonard Stone was an American character actor with a prolific career in television, film and theater. He was memorable as Sam Beauregard, Mike Teavy's father in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and made countless guest appearances on television shows. Stone was a versatile performer, equally adept at comedy and drama. Theodora Van Dracul, she was born in March 1928 and she died in November 2011. Her age was 83 at the time of her death and the reason for her death was lung cancer. Theodora Van Dracul was an American costume designer renowned for her iconic work in film, often defining the look of classic characters. She received Oscar nomination for Bonnie and Clyde, The Godfather Part 2 and Fingers. Van Dracul's designs were instrumental in shaping the visual style of many memorable movies. Hal Bruno, he was born in October 1928 and he died in November 2011. His age was 83 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was heart arrhythmia. Hal Bruno was an American journalist and political reporter, best known for his long career at ABC News, where he served as political director and a prominent election night analyst. He was a highly respected voice in political journalism, known for his insightful analysis and experiences. Bruno played a key role in covering American elections. Heavy D, he was born in May 1967 and he died in November 2011. His age was 44 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was pulmonary embolism. Heavy D, born Dwight Arrington Mears, was a Jamaican-American rapper, singer and actor, known as the Overweight Lover and the charismatic frontman of Heavy D and the Boys. He had major hits like Now That We Found Love and was a pioneer of hip-hop's New Jack Swing sound. Heavy D also had a successful acting career. Hal Cantor, he was born in December 1918 and he died in November 2011. His age was 92 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Hal Cantor was an American screenwriter, director and producer with a long and distinguished career in Hollywood. He wrote for legendary comedians like Bob Hope and Dean Martin and created the groundbreaking television series Julia. Cantor was a prolific talent whose work spanned films, television and radio. Mugi Klingman, he was born in September 1950 and he died in November 2011. His age was 61 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was cancer. Mugi Klingman was an American musician, songwriter and keyboardist, known for his work with Todd Rundgren's Utopia and recorded with numerous artists, Contributing his talents to a wide range of musical projects, Klingman was a respected figure in rock music. Bill Keane, he was born in October 1922 and he died in November 2011. His age was 89 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was congestive heart failure. Bill Keane was an American cartoonist, best known as the creator of the beloved comic strip, The Family Circus. His wholesome and often humorous depictions of family life resonated with millions of readers worldwide for over 50 years. Keane's gentle humor and relatable characters made his strip an American institution. Andy Rooney, he was born in January 1919 and he died in November 2011. His age was 92 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from surgery. Andy Rooney was an American journalist and commentator, best known for his long-running segment, A Few Minutes with Andy Rooney, on the CBS News magazine 60 Minutes. He offered often curmudgeonly but always insightful observations on everyday life, becoming a cultural icon. Rooney's distinctive voice and wit made him a beloved figure in television journalism. Svetlana Alliluyeva, she was born in February 1926 and she died in November 2011. Her age was 85 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was colon cancer. Svetlana Alliluyeva was a Soviet-American author, famously known as the only daughter of Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. She defected from the Soviet Union in 1967, causing an international sensation, and wrote several best-selling memoirs, including 20 Letters to a Friend. She offered a unique and critical perspective of her father and Soviet system. Morris Philipsson, he was born in June 1926 and he died in November 2011. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Morris Philipsson was an American publisher and author who served as the director of the University of Chicago Press for many years. He played a significant role in scholarly publishing, fostering academic excellence and intellectual discourse. Philipsson was also a novelist and essayist. Jud Walden, he was born in May 1925 and he died in November 2011. His age was 86 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Jud Walden was an American composer and pianist, best known for composing the music for the Broadway musical Raisin, for which he won a Tony Award for Best Musical. His work brought the classic play A Raisin in the Sun to the musical stage. Walden contributed significantly to American musical theater. Gianni Palucci, he was born in July 1918 and he died in November 2011. His age was 93 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Gianni Palucci was an American entrepreneur and food industry innovator, known for founding several successful food companies, including Chongqing, a Chinese-American food, and Michelina's frozen meals. He was a pioneer in the frozen food industry, creating convenient and popular food products. Palucci was a highly successful and prolific businessman. Frederick Meyer, he was born in December 1919 and he died in November 2011. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke. Frederick Meyer was an American businessman and philanthropist who served as the chairman of the Meyer Hypermart chain, a prominent retailer in the Midwest. He was also a major art collector and created the Frederick Meyer Gardens and Sculpture Park. Meyer's business success allowed for significant cultural and civic contributions. Oba Chandler, he was born in October 1946 and he died in November 2011. His age was 65 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was execution. Oba Chandler was an American murderer who was convicted and executed for the 1989 murders of Joan Rogers and her two daughters, whose bodies were found in Tampa Bay, Florida. The case gained national attention and remained unsolved for years before his arrest. Chandler was a notorious criminal whose crimes shocked the nation. Lyn Margulus, she was born in March 1938 and she died in November 2011. Her age was 73 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was stroke. Lyn Margulus was an American evolutionary biologist renowned for her groundbreaking work on the endosymbiotic theory, which proposed that mitochondria and chloroplasts in eukaryotic cells evolved from symbiotic bacteria. Her ideas challenged conventional evolutionary biology and are now widely accepted. Margulus was a visionary scientist who shaped the understanding of life's origin. William Arammany, he was born in January 1927 and he died in November 2011. His age was 84 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. William Arammany was an American non-profit executive who served as the CEO of the United Way of America for over 2 decades, overseeing its growth to a major charitable organization. However, his career ended in scandal, which he was convicted of fraud and money laundering. Arammany's case led to increased scrutiny of non-profit governance. Bill Waller, he was born in October 1926 and he died in November 2011. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Bill Waller was an American politician who served as the governor of Mississippi from 1972 to 1976. As a Democrat, he was known for his efforts to modernize state government and improve race relations in the post-civil rights era. Waller was a significant figure in Mississippi politics during a period of transition. Lloyd J Old, he was born in September 1933 and he died in November 2011. His age was 78 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Lloyd J Old was an American cancer immunologist, a highly influential figure in cancer research. He was a pioneer in the field of cancer immunotherapy and is credited with the discovery of tumor necrosis factor TNF, a key cytokine involved in inflammation and tumor regression. Old's work laid foundations for modern cancer treatments. Anne McCaffrey, she was born in April 1926 and she died in November 2011. Her age was 85 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was stroke. Anne McCaffrey was an Irish-American science fiction and fantasy author, best known for her immensely popular Dragon Riders of Pern series. She was the first woman to win both the Hugo and Nebula Awards for fiction. McCaffrey created vivid worlds and compelling characters, becoming a grandmaster of the genre. George Gallup Jr., he was born in April 1930 and he died in November 2011. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. George Gallup Jr. was an American pollster and author who succeeded his father, George Gallup Sr., in leading the Gallup poll organization. He continued the tradition of public opinion research with a particular focus on religion and spirituality. Gallup Jr. was a prominent voice in understanding American attitudes. Ira Michael Haymon, he was born in May 1930 and he died in November 2011. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was emphysema. Ira Michael Haymon was an American legal scholar and university administrator who served as the Chancellor of the University of California, Berkeley, and later as the Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution. He was known for his leadership in higher education and cultural institutions. Haymon was a respected figure in both academia and public service. Charles T. Cowell, he was born in November 1940 and he died in November 2011. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Charles T. Cowell was an American astronomer known for his discoveries of astronomical objects. He discovered Leda, one of the Jupiter's moons, and Chiron, the first member of the Centaur class of minor planets. Cowell's observations expanded the understanding of our solar system. Matty Allen, he was born in December 1938 and he died in November 2011. His age was 72 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from diabetes. Matty Allen was a Dominican professional baseball player and outfielder who had a successful career in Major League Baseball, most notably with the San Francisco Giants and Pittsburgh Pirates. He was a National League batting champion. Allen was known for his consistent hitting and speed. Bob Forch, he was born in January 1950 and he died in November 2011. His age was 61 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was aortic aneurysm. Bob Forch was an American professional baseball player who pitched for the St. Louis Cardinals for most of his Major League Baseball career. He was known for his longevity and consistency, and notably threw 2 non-hitters. Forch was a key pitcher for the Cardinals during their successful periods. Joe Frasier, he was born in January 1944 and he died in November 2011. His age was 67 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was liver cancer. Joe Frasier was an American professional boxer, an Olympic gold medalist, and the undisputed world heavyweight champion. He was famous for his relentless attacking style and his legendary trilogy of fights with Muhammad Ali, including the fight of the century and Thriller in Manila. Frasier was an iconic and beloved figure in boxing history. Ed McCauley, he was born in March 1928 and he died in November 2011. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was Alzheimer's disease. Ed McCauley was an American professional basketball player and coach, a Hall of Fame forward center who played for the Boston Celtics and St. Louis Hawks in the NBA. He was known for his smooth offensive game and sportsmanship. McCauley was one of the early stars of the NBA and later had a career as a Catholic deacon. Roger Christian, he was born in December 1935 and he died in November 2011. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Roger Christian was an American professional ice hockey player. Christian played for the American 1960 Winter Olympics and the 1964 Winter Olympics ice hockey teams. Winning a gold medal in the 1960, he was inducted into the United States Hockey Hall of Fame in 1989. He was also a co-founder of Christian Brothers Hockey Sticks, along with his brother Bill Christian and brother-in-law Hal Bake. Jim Wrathman, he was born in July 1928 and he died in November 2011. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Jim Wrathman was an American professional race car driver, best known as the winner of the 1960 Indianapolis 500. He was a prominent figure in American open-wheel racing during the 1950s and 60s. Wrathman competed in multiple Indy 500s, solidifying his place in racing history. Ron Lyle, he was born in February 1941 and he died in November 2011. His age was 70 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from a sudden stomach ailment. Ron Lyle was an American professional boxer, a formidable heavyweight contender during the 1970s. He fought some of the era's greatest boxers, including Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, in memorable bouts. Lyle's powerful punching and resilient spirit made him a respected figure in boxing. Carl Roby, he was born in May 1945 and he died in November 2011. His age was 66 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Carl Roby was an American competitive swimmer, an Olympic gold medalist in the 200-meter butterfly at the 1968 Mexico City Games. He also won a silver medal in the same event at the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. Roby was a dominant butterfly swimmer of his era. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.